Welcome and thank you for joining us on From the Correspondent, where we engage our team of correspondents on their experiences on the field in order to appreciate the uniqueness of this profession and the sacrifices that we make to keep you informed. I am Emmanuel Tewasi. Top on our lineup today, the 15th Corruption Tory Town Hall in Obalafo, Enugu State, organized by Signature Media and Development Foundation in partnership with Makata Foundation. Then, the twist in the River State crisis and a heated uproar at the Senate during the review of an ad hoc committee report on Rivers State emergency, followed by a former Minister of Power, Professor Chinedu Nebo, advocating for the federal government to adapt geopostal intelligence to tackle Nigeria's environmental and developmental challenges. Then the Southeast again renewed their demand for more states to achieve parity with other geopolitical zones during the public hearing on the 1999 Constitution review here in Enugu. And finally, we'll look at the Teens Fall Apart Festival, celebrating the 67th anniversary of Chinua Achebe's novel and legacies. Stay tuned for all of these when we return from the break.
Every second, every minute, every day, news is breaking, events occur, and there are new developments. At Signature TV, we follow these stories objectively, bringing all sides without bias, explaining the complex issues, breaking down the numbers, and investigating the issues behind the news. Anywhere and everywhere, near or far, wherever the news is, we will be there. Signature TV. News in your pocket.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is From the Correspondent on Signature TV. And now to our reports. Signature Media and Development Foundation, in partnership with the MacArthur Foundation, hosted its 15th Corruption Tory Town Hall at Obalafo, Utene local government area of Enugu State. The event brought together traditional rulers, government officials, student security agencies, and community members to discuss on the dangers of corruption.
You have a role to play for us to stop corruption. Corruption is not only people in the National Assembly like Mr. Integrity. I go home and I say I'm on a government. I have the ego. When I don't go, they have it go. Ezio, when I'm on a government in the ego. Who said yes? I heard yes here. And illegal. Oh, my corruption. Oh, my corruption now. Yeah? So I got my here. And then any more people know more as in ever. We want to hear from you. What does corruption mean to you?
Okay, in a rice, over our market. And so my father buying 50 cups. In my with cup, you don't like cup as they just the cup, I mother Zulu 50. Me, madam, so part. Is it good?
No. A teacher give a place for concentration before the exam. Is it corruption? If a teacher give a place of concentration before the exam, is it a corruption?
Principal, you must answer.
If the teacher gives area of concentration before the exam, it's corruption, it's not good. The teacher, what he or she will do is to give general revision. Maybe what he or she has said to that revision question. You just give, not to say, concentrate on this. He has exposed everything now. He has told you what to write or what not to write. It's corruption, it's not good.
Yeah, well, if anybody, teacher, harasses you, call your representative. Principal,
If anybody harasses you for disciplining the students and doing the right thing, that's your representative. Yeah?
I'm so happy for this program. I'm so much. I like it more. It will help me in my work. It will help me in my work. Because corruption is keeping children into Nigeria. Into our children. Parents, please, we need more. We need to help ourselves to help Nigeria.
What I want to tell you what I've known and experienced. Everybody does not be rich at a great child level. You understand? Some people will be richer than the other people. You have to get this thing and have it with you. Just like you said, work very hard. God will give you what He has designed for you in life. And not that you are going to nowhere on whatever property or anything you have here, which was always the reason why we go to scale. And we were always the reason why we patronize the whole thing.
Attending another superintendent. All that she did, until they exactly what we discussed. And the local government, when I was a student, I came. Oh, when I went to the school, okay, I went to the place to the same group of school. I am going to talk to the chairman so that we introduce what is called anti-corruption group in all the schools in the world. From time to time, these schools are known how they are doing about it. Because if you do corruption, not corruption is not this. Corruption is not taken as a design. It is not taken as a design. It has killed so many people and destroyed the country.
And that was the highlight of the 15th edition of the Corruption Tory Town Hall held at Udeno Local Government area of Enugu State. And with me in the studio is the President and CEO of Signature Media and Development Foundation, V. Martins Obiara Ilo, who put this event together in partnership with the Makato Foundation. Mr. V. Martin, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Then with me is Raymond Ken Mbata, the reporter who was at that event to witness it for Signature TV. Raymond, you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
All right, let's begin with you, Mr. V. Martin. What is Corruption Tory? What does Corruption Tory mean?
Okay, Corruption Tory is a program, actually it's a TV program,
Okay.
which we had developed as part of our partnership with Makato Foundation. That program and project with Makato Foundation is to amplify what we call the anti-corruption voices. So it's a program that is aired on the network service of NTA, is also aired on the network service of AIT, and also aired in about 7 NTA stations.
Okay.
But the unique thing about this program is that it is done in Pidgin and local languages. Pidgin, Igbo, Hausa, Yoruba, and Pidgin, Igbo, Hausa, and Yoruba. And you know, when we started that program a couple of years back, we discovered that yes, we were on TV talking about it. We brought personalities, we brought a lot of people who were in the anti-corruption fight. But we felt we were not connecting with the people as much as we wanted. That it was like somebody on TV and someone so far away. So there was still this distance. So we sat down and said, how can we come with some advocacy programs that will bring us face to face with these local people we are targeting using those local languages? So we started these what we call the Corruption Tory Town Halls. This is the 15th edition. We've had this town hall in other parts of Enugu State.
Okay.
The inaugural one was held in Achi, I think in 2022. We've had it in Oshun. We have had it in Uyo. We've had it in Nasarawa. We've had it in Owerri. We've had it in Abuja. We have had it in a lot of other places. And the beautiful thing is that it offers, a level ground for the high and mighty to interact with these rural people. If you look at this, this one we had in Udenu, market women, national road transport workers, artisans, secondary school students, youths, both employed and unemployed. And sitting at the other end is the member representing that federal constituency, Honorable Dennis Abu, the chairman of the local government, officials of the local government, people from the state assembly, traditional rulers, and a lot of people. And one thing I remember was that we got to that place and they had this high table and low table. In the fight against corruption, everybody is equal. So I remember that it took us some time to bring the tables down, set it in the normal village town hall setting, where everybody is equal and looking at everybody.
All right, let me cut you short. You said this town hall is organized to highlight some of these vices in the community. I believe the 15th edition, there were some key issues that were raised. I'm going to come to you, Raymond, because he has said his own part from someone who is inside. You witnessed the event. What were those?
They wanted to know that I was lying.
Not really, but he was there. He also witnessed. He can either amplify what you've said or give another perspective. So what were the highlights or significant activities that got your attention?
First of all, the town hall meeting was a very, very apt one at that point in time, because the nation is facing a hemorrhaging of economic resources, and most of it was has been traced to corrupt practices, both by elected and appointed government officials, and the drive by the Signature Media and Development Foundation in conjunction with the Makoto Foundation to target the rural people, the down-to-earth people, and give them these instructions, and also let them understand that they matter in this fight against corruption was very laudable. Okay. To say
you're beginning to sound like the spokesperson for
I was really impacted by it. It was one of the first symposiums on corruption. Usually it's been championed by the anti-corruption agencies of the government, but this is from a private individual, having no stake at all in government, and doing it as a sense of charity per se. And charity is not just giving people money, it's also giving people information and enlightenment. And I mean, I didn't even feel the weight of the 3 hours that we were there. I mean, even the keynote speaker was given, I think, 45 minutes to speak, and he took more than that, because people were really receptive to those information.
And I remember that at a point we said the keynote speaker had to stop, and the students were saying no, they wanted to hear more.
Exactly, sir. Exactly.
So talking about how interesting this event went down, I would like you to highlight some of, because I believe when you took to them the information you have, they also raised some concerns. What were those concerns that resonated
with ordinary people? Yes, okay, one of the key things we do at those town halls is to let these people know that they have a stake in this fight. That corruption is not only when a House of Reps member steals money, or the governor steals money, or the president steals money, or whoever steals money. That even at that lower level, that there's corruption. I remember asking them, do you have a president general in your community? They said yes. And tell us about it. They said, some of them are very corrupt too. We contribute money and give them, and nobody accounts for the money. One woman stood up. He said, we're talking about corruption there. I sell. You remember? She
Yes.
said she sells on the Obola for road. That every day they come out, that they will pay to more than 5 organizations. They'll be collecting money, tax, they'll carry their wares and all that. And it was, something has to be done. That as far as they're concerned, illegal people collecting illegal levies from them.
And nobody's checking this.
And right there, we took the microphone to the Secretary to Government who was representing the chairman.
Okay.
And he said, it's true. We've caught some people. We are punishing them, but please, madam, these are our numbers. If you see them, anybody touches your ware. That's what we're trying to do. Bring it. The other wonderful thing about this, Emma, is that there's immediate feedback. Those in authority are getting the feedback from those down there, and those down there are getting information. That's the kind of thing we saw. It's not all the time that market women sit down with the chairman of the local government or the traditional rulers to ask them questions. They talked about the police. You know, we reminded them that you're going out, you carry your ware and you're going somewhere, and the driver is carrying you and the driver is obeying all the laws, and suddenly the police stops you and says, oh yeah, everybody come down, go, leave this man. You should rise up and say, no, what has he done? You won't be the one who say, hey, driver, beg, settle and give him 1,000, make we come out here.
I think that contributes to why we are in this particular state. This consignment kind of attitude.
That was what we wanted. That was the enlightenment we wanted.
Okay.
We told them that today we have done our own town hall. You women, do your own town hall. By Christmas, in that your women group meeting in the villages, send an invitation to Honorable Dennis Abo to come to that meeting and tell those of you there what he has done in the last 1 year.
Okay.
That is the kind of empowerment.
All right.
And enablement we are talking about.
Thank you so much. I would have loved to continue the conversation, but because of time constraint, I really appreciate you for appearing on the show to talk about this particular issue that is eating deep into the fabric of the nation. We're going to a quick break, and when we return, we'll be linking up with Williams Uchewaji in River State to bring us update on the twist in the River State crisis between the FCT minister and the suspended River State Governor Simelaya Fubara. Stay with us, the program continues.
Every second, every minute, every day, news is breaking, events occur, and there are new developments. At Signature TV, we follow these stories objectively, bringing all sides without bias, explaining the complex issues, breaking down the numbers, and investigating the issues behind the news. Anywhere and everywhere, near or far, wherever the news is, we will be there. Signature TV. News in your pocket.
Get plugged into the heartbeat of entertainment on The Hub, your ultimate show on e-vibes. From trending stories and social media drama to top charting music, must-watch movies and exciting moments from the world of arts, we've got it all. Join us for unmissable conversations with your favorite entertainment personalities, plus fun segments every week.
So I should try harder, so...
Okay, I don't know that one.
Outfit of the day.
Oh, I don't do that. That's some Gen Z stuff.
Oh, now you say it's a Gen Z stuff.
It's everything you love about entertainment, served fresh every week at 1 p.m. with weekend repeats just in case you missed it. The Hub's on e-vibes, where the vibes never stop. Only on Signature TV.
Welcome back. You're still watching From the Correspondent on Signature TV. And if you're just joining, we just had the president of Signature Media and Development Foundation, V. Martin Dilo, with Raymond Kenambata, who spoke on corruption theory, a town hall meeting aimed at addressing corruption at the grassroots level. And before I take you to the next stories that we have for you, I would like to let you know that we'll also be talking about the recent constitutional review that happened in all the geopolitical zones across the state, and we'll bring you highlights from Enugu State, from the southeast, which happened in Enugu State. I'm still here with Ray Ken Mbata, who will also be discussing that with us in a short possible time. But before then, let's go to Rivers State, where there was a heated uproar on the floor of the Nigeria Senate over the emergency rule in Rivers State. This followed the presentation and review of the report of the ad hoc committee on the emergency rule in Rivers State over the screening and approval of the chairman of the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission, as well as other appointments that have surfaced from that time till now. So let's take a look at what happened at the House.
Tensions rose as lawmakers debated the nomination of Michael Odey, a non-indigene, for Rivers State as chairman of the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission, RSEC. These appointments sparked strong opposition from several minority party members. Senate Minority Leader Abba Moro and two other senators voiced their disappointment over the appointment. They noted that the early appointment of the sole administrator, who is also a non-indigene of Rivers State, had already generated controversy.
And you know that there were some eyebrows raised when he was appointed administrator. Now he has gone to pick a cross-river person again to become chairman of the electoral commission.
Order, please. I do not see any logical reason why a river man will not chair this electoral commission.
If the argument you are giving me now is that you want to get somebody out of Rivers so that the person that will be in charge of this will be unbiased in any way, that is a different thing. But the people should be carried along.
However, the Senate leader Okweyemi Bamidele and Chief Whip Senator Tahi Mongono defended the nomination, insisting that the appointment did not violate any section of the Nigerian Constitution.
There is no any inhibition by way of the constitutional provision, which is the ground norm of the land. As a Nigerian, any Nigerian is free to take up appointment anywhere in Nigeria.
All the six members are from Rivers. But the chairman we are bringing because we need all the neutrality that we can get.
Despite the disagreement, the report was adopted by voice note confirming the appointment of the RSEC chairman and members.
1. Michael Ekwali Odi, PhD, chairman. Tobira Lezasi Lenne, member. Chidi Ebenezer Holiday, member. As chairman and members of the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission. Is this a true reflection of what transpired in the Committee of the Whole? Thank you, Senator Nengi, for affirming that this is what took place in the Committee of the Whole.
Also at plenary, the Red Chamber unanimously condemned the recent brutal killing of over 200 civilians in Yelawata community in Guma local government area of Benue State, as well as the massacre of 12 people in Mangun local government area of Plateau State. It officially classified the attack carried on the June 18 and June 21 as acts of terrorism and part of broader systematic campaign of violence. The senators demanded immediate and comprehensive federal intervention to halt the bloodshed that continues to threaten peace and security across the country. Titus Zam from Benue State moved the motion under the matters of urgent national importance.
Tragic genocidal massacre at Yelawata was executed in a systematic manner never known before in the history of these attacks. Further notes, the accounts by survivors and rights organizations including Amnesty International and Human Rights Watch, described the attacks as well coordinated and executed with impunity.
Other senators echoed calls for decisive action and the need to modernize intelligence gathering and security operations through technology-driven approaches.
That the president and commander-in-chief is the one that will deal with the matter decisively. He went to the local Sinquo and saw for himself and ordered security agencies. Let's get them out. Let's get them out and deal with them. In less than 1 week, the IG of police had made his address. 26 people were arrested. And this morning, it has gotten to 53.
If the dimension of security policing and monitoring must change, it must fundamentally engaging, and we must deploy fundamental sophisticated equipment that technology devices into management and monitoring.
Senate President Godswill Akpabio, who led the chamber in a 1-minute silence to honor the victims, said the attack can be linked to state failure.
That with the instruction of Mr. President, the directives that the killers will be fished out, we will continue to work hard in collaboration with the President to make sure that Nigeria is safer than what it is today. The resurgence of insecurity in the country, I hope is not politically linked.
The Senate called for the development of more military personnel to Benue State, particularly to Yelewata and other known flashpoints to prevent further attacks and restore security.
The Wike Fubara peace team mediated by President Tinubu has de-escalated political crisis in Rivers State, with both parties committing to unity and Fubara making significant concessions, including forgoing second term, allegedly, from what we've learned from the peace deal that had last week. While Wike emphasizes peace over transparency, the agreement has sparked a lot of mixed reactions, with some praising the return of stability and others decrying it as a capitulation. This has raised a lot of concerns in the media, and various stakeholders have described it as lopsided agreement or peace deal. Joining me from River State is our correspondent, Williams Uchowaji, who has been giving us update on this particular development for some time now, and who will also give us the atmosphere in River State as regards to this new development and twist in this crisis in River State. Williams, it's a pleasure to have you on this program once again. All right, Williams, if you can hear me, please, can you unmute your microphone so that I can also hear what you're saying?
Can you hear me now?
All right, thank you so much for joining us. President Bola Tinubu's role in brokering a peace deal between the FCT minister and the suspended governor of River State has been described as fragile and lopsided by many Nigerians and political actors. How have River State citizens reacted to this reconciliation?
Yeah, the reconciliation has been widely condemned. Like you clearly said, it's truly lopsided, very selfish, one-sided. And some people term it to be a great gift because it's not actually a peace talk. A peace talk needs to be balanced. That is what the people anticipated. So when the peace talk broke out, when we saw the both of them appeared, and the River State House of Assembly Speaker Amewule in their address to the press. Then subsequently we get to know about the deal. the terms and conditions for the peace talk. So it was widely condemned. People anticipated, people await that very peace, and they probably and possibly lifting up of the state of emergency. But when you get to know or see the terms given for the peace, so most people was actually disappointed. Let me use that word. So it
All right,
came as a
Williams,
great shock.
talking about this peace deal, our focus is on the terms of this peace. We've not seen the written agreement or whatsoever that is binding this agreement, but can you please list out some of these terms for us, or rather confirm these terms, like the one of not coming back for re-election for a second term in the 2027 general election, and other terms of the deal, so that we'll actually know what this peace is all about, please.
Okay, yes. Initially, the masses thought it was a rumor, media propaganda, social media propaganda, but it's in the news. It's no longer a secret any longer. The governor, while addressing his loyalists, his supporters, simplified movement, he actually affirmed to the rumor or the news media about the not seeking the re-election come 2027, because he started it this way. As long as he's not asking for his life, that is ready and willing to give and to come to whatever terms and conditions the FCT minister will come up with. So he goes down to state that very one, that yes, he said so, that is not coming back come 2027, that is accepted. Then two, the local government elections is within his control as well. Like, you really want to nominate or choose who will vie for the position. We go down to say again, from the one who gathered again, which he did not say that day, was again is all the allowance, entitlement financially accrued to the House member right from the saga when it started. He is going to pay up or refuse to do that. That is the fourth one now. You'll be prepared for impeachment. So I think that is the four key. One other one is, I think the third one now, yes, not seeking re-election. The local government council election should be handled by him in terms of the candidate to vie, the aspirant to vie for the position. Then his key political ally or yes, in his cabinet, like SAG, chief of staff, will step aside. Then refused to do that, as in refusal to obey to this, then the last option should be impeachment.
Well,
the governor
Williams,
clearly said, like I said,
as a journalist and as a Nigerian, having looked at these terms and what we are clamoring for at this point in our nation's history, where we are seeking that one day our nation will become better, what do you make of this kind of very stringent or slavish, let me use the word, terms of agreement, which was chaired or spearheaded by the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? What does that tell you, Williams?
Yeah. When you started playing out, everybody will see it. Like me as a person, as an observer, as a citizen, not just a journalist, we see it to be very barbaric. This is not a democracy at all. It's a kind of hijacked of democracy. It's a kind of a coup d'etat in Rivers State as we speak right now, because democracy system is still on. Nothing otherwise will prompt such activities in Rivers State. So when he said absolute power corrupt, absolutely, this is what we are seeing in Rivers State currently, because it's uncalled for the declaration of the state of emergency to start with is not legally backed up. It's not constitutionally backed up. Because even if you want to do that, it shouldn't have been done through voice vote in the National Assembly. It should have been through head count, not voice vote. So that's only signal the illegality involved. You understand? So now if you want to trickle it down, you can declare state of emergency fine not to suspend the constitutional elected institutions in the state. So all this is just kind of political rascality and power trump individuals who just want to remain relevant and stuff like that. It's very, very unfortunate. It's very, very unfortunate. It's uncalled for. It's very strange to democracy and constitution. Even the constitution that we operate, the constitution that gives first the leeway, that gave us the standing to operate our democracy, is alien to it. So don't know where all those things is coming from. Our judiciary, we can see the impunity. So there is no hope anywhere than to just take your fate the way you see it. So it's quite unfortunate. This is strange to democracy.
Williams, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. Now that the peace deal between the warring political figures in the state has been reached and peace seems to have returned in the state, we are also hoping that the government will expedite action in bringing to an end the emergency rule, which is entering the 3rd month, if I may be correct. I don't know your take on that, but you can also share your views on what do you think at this point that there is a peace deal and a compromise in the River State now that peace has returned. Okay, let's move forward to other stories. Thank you so much, Williams, for joining us. I really appreciate, and I would like to have you next time on the program.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
All right, thank you so much, Williams. Let's move to the next story on our lineup. Former Minister of Power, Professor Chinedu Nebo, wants the federal government to embrace geospatial intelligence as a way of addressing environmental and developmental challenges facing the country. Nebo made the call at the annual conference of Nigerian Institute of Surveyors held in Enugu.
The event, which brought together surveyors from across the country, has as its theme harnessing geospatial intelligence in the new world, innovation and opportunities for sustainable development. Geospatial intelligence is intelligence about human activities on Earth, derived from the analysis of imagery, signals or signature combined with geospatial information and crucial in mapping. Professor Chinedu Nebo, former Power Minister and former Vice Chancellor of 2 federal universities, University of Nigeria and University of Oye Ekiti, was the keynote speaker on the occasion. Nebo said Nigeria needs geospatial intelligence to bring about remodeling and sustainable development in the country.
Which is part of your domain in the new world. Innovations and opportunities for sustainable development. Geospatial intelligence of Geo Inc. has emerged as a transformative force in global development. Integrating geographic data with cutting-edge technologies such as artificial intelligence, AI, machine learning, ML, remote sensing, and big data analytics.
Secretary to the Enugu State Government, Professor Chidebere Onye, said the conference would shape the future of the country's environment, development, and national planning system.
Mr. President, this is one of the key things we continue to seek the support of the Nigerian Institute of Surveyors to be able to fish out all the people that are involved in surveying practice without the appropriate licensing and prosecute them to deter others that plan to go into that field. The proliferation of unqualified practitioners poses not just a professional concern, but also a threat to public order and safety. leading to land disputes, litigation, and in some cases, violence.
President of the occasion, Professor Matthew Ibitoye, said the strategic application of geointelligence presents immense opportunities for tackling some global challenges, such as climate change, rapid urbanization, resource depletion, and public health crisis. Ibitoye appealed to the federal government to reconstitute the Surveyors Council of Nigeria, which was dissolved in 2023, which he said hindered the council from performing its statutory function.
We use this opportunity to appeal to the federal government so that they can reconstitute this body without any further delay. I want us to appreciate this. Another pressing issue affecting our profession is the recent circular issued by the National University Commission (NUC) titled "Stoppage of Multiple Accreditation of Academic Programs."
Ibitoye, who will be handing over the leadership of the council to Chukwuemeka Eze from Enugu State, assured of his commitment to the ideals of the institution. In Enugu, Chinemeremi Kebunam reporting for Signature TV News.
You're still watching From the Correspondent on Signature TV. The week-long Teens Fall Apart Festival, which began on Sunday 29th of June, had its grand finale on 5th July 2025 at the International Conference Center in Enugu. The Teens Fall Apart Festival is a cultural and literacy event celebrating the 67th anniversary of Chinua Achebe. The novel Teens Fall Apart, the festival organized by Center for Memories, featured various activities, including dramatic performance, act exhibition, film screening, and discussions on the theme from the novel. Highlights from the event was the keynote speech given by Chimamanda Adichie, among other dignitaries in attendance. Let's take a look at the highlights of that event.
So it's a novel that is an all-round package. That's why there is a celebration, not just a celebration, but a week-long celebration. Please, a round of applause for Teens Fall Apart Festival.
And you know, just beyond everything you spoke about, one of the fantastic themes that we have gotten over the last 60 years, thanks to Professor Chinua Achebe's influence, is the fact that the conversation on cultural identity,
not Rolls Royces, not material things, memory of who they are, memory of where they are coming from, memory that will guide them into the future, the kind of memory that Teens Fall Apart has given not only to the Igbo world, to Africans, to oppressed people, to people in all manner of subjugation across the world. And that is why we are here to celebrate the
celebration of the 67th anniversary of the publication of the book Teens Fall Apart. I have prepared a very quick speech and I crave your indulgence to just go through it. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is an honor.
female metaphysically, the female structurally, or the female as a woman. Okonkwo's tragic journey has femaledom everywhere around him. And the femaledom was not meant to be subjugated. But all his misfortunes.
That will be presenting who was that will be evolving into a European and paracetamol doctor of specializing. I told her I was thinking of writing.
So I'm very happy to be here again. Good evening. Thank you for being here. And I want to start by thanking the Center for Memories because they're doing essential work. They're doing essential work of preserving our collective memories. Abuja just 2 days ago, and now I am here in Enugu. I'm here in this beautiful city on the hill. I am here in the city of my birth. So I drew my first breath about 2 kilometers away from where we are today at the University of Nigeria Teaching Hospital on September 15, 1977. So although I was born in Enugu, I grew up in Nsukka, in the campus of the University of Nigeria. In the Chapel government area of my mother is from Unachi into the Hopfield government area of
What a colorful event promoting the Igbo culture. Watching from here, I enjoyed myself, particularly that musical presentation by those young people who did excellently well. With me in the studio is Ray Ken Bata, who followed this event, the week-long event from the beginning up to the end. Raymond, once again, you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
All right, so can you unpack this long week event for us?
Okay, the event kicked off on the 29th of June at the official headquarters of the Center for Memories, Argo Close Independence Layout. It was well prepared, although the rain came down heavily that day, but every hands were on deck to make sure that the event still.
Raymond, let me enter. You're beginning to sound like a scholar.
Wow.
Just because of time constraints, and just give us key highlights from day 1, day 2, day 3, so that we just follow up and appreciate the significance of this event before we run out of time.
Okay, it's actually kicked off with the opening ceremony by Chief Ben Tiaba, the chairman of the occasion, and also after then it moved also to a recitation and poetry, and after then there was an art exhibition, although there was supposed to be a wrestling contest that day, but subsequently other days, day 2, day 3, there were other activities including a book review, and also there are also sections for children to come and also learn about Things Fall Apart, and also the ethos within the Umofia village. There was a reenactment of Umofia village at the Center for Memories also, and which rounded up, building up to the grand finale of the keynote speaker, Chimamanda Adichie, coming in at the International Conference Center where the grand finale took place. Although we were still expecting Pete Edochie, who took on the role of Okonkwo in the 1986 enactment of Things Fall Apart, but I think he couldn't make it there, but it was still covered up for the presence of Chimamanda Adichie, and she made a good appearance and also enlivened the hall.
All right, you made mention of Umofia village. I was going to ask some of those activities that highlighted the literacy work of Chinua Achebe. What, apart from Umofia village, what were some of those other things that also were portrayed to highlight Achebe's legacies?
Okay, Achebe's legacy is a towering colossus so far as the literary space in Africa and in the world is concerned. And it was worth celebrating his magnum opus. For me, it's his magnum opus because Things Fall Apart brought about some themes that we were not even very, very well informed about. The themes about cross-pollination of ideas and civilizations, and also how the natives of conquered lands took the infiltration of their lands by the colonial masters, and the outcome of it, of which Okonkwo was seen as the villain per se, although he was just being an average warrior in his village trying to secure their rights, but at the same time colonialism had come to stay. And Chinua Achebe's reenactment of what it was like between the cross-pollination of both cultures, of the Western culture and the indigenous culture, was very, very apt. And up till now, we still see signs of those clashes coming in, even in neo-colonialism. Our interest versus the Western interest, which comes first, our language versus Western language, which comes first. So those were themes that were explored very well by Chinua Achebe, even as far back as 67 years ago, and still celebrated today.
Okay, apart from promoting the Igbo culture and some of these historic meanings embedded in folk tales, what other aspect of this festival as regards to this book, Things Fall Apart, stood out for you in terms of recreating some of these scenes, or some the scenes that this book talks about?
I want to take the reenactment of Umuofia village.
Okay.
Umuofia is a mythical place where Okonkwo, the lead character in Things Fall Apart, came from. And so the reenactment of that village in the Center for Memories headquarters at Agbo Close at Independence Layout stood out for me, because it was like bringing it to life concerning Umuofia village, and also warriors dressed in attires, maidens, and also I also picked on the art exhibition. It was very lovely art, and it's still displayed at the central hall there at the Center for Memories. And also the book review of Things Fall Apart was very, very apt, and it was very expository, mostly for the Gen Zs that do not really know what is very deep about Things Fall Apart. So I take these three aspects as what stood out for me concerning Things Fall Apart.
All right, we are running out of time, but before we go, just in a few seconds, it's not just about writing a book. The lessons to be learned. What are these lessons from this book?
I pick, for me, the lessons I picked personally was that you can't fight change.
Okay.
And not every culture is useless. There are stuff to pick from other cultures. Yes, we cannot live in isolation. And for the fact that there was an invention that had brought the white people down here, there would have also been a way for us to still live together and also cross-pollinate.
Thank you so much, Raymond Kenembata, for that insight concerning on the festival organized to honor the legacies of Chinua Achebe on his book titled Things Fall Apart. He said that culture, no matter where it's from, is very significant, and that is what that book portrays, trying to find a meeting point between our tradition and that of the Western world. The African Democratic Congress, ADC, has become a platform for major opposition coalition to challenge President Bola Tinubu of the APC in the 2027 general elections, with the likes of Atiku Abubakar, David Mark, and former governors like Nasir El-Rufai and Rotimi Amechi, including the leader of the Obedient Movement, Peter Obi. Do you think this coalition is for the interest of Nigerians or just another WhatsApp group of corrupt and self-centered politicians? The APC, including FCT Minister Nyesom Wike, criticizes it as a self-serving group, while its presidential candidate in the last election, Dumebi Kachuku, rejects the takeover, citing procedural flaws do you think that this movement would engineer transformative change that we need? Well, I will leave you to ponder on that, and this is where we wrap it up on this edition of From the Correspondent. Thank you so much for staying with us. I am Emmanuel Tewase, and until I come your way next week, stay informed and stay blessed. Bye for now.